Hello YouTube, how's it going? So before we get into part 2 of the Toolbox tour, I have a little bonus footage for you. I've gotten a few items in that are in the toolbox since the tour, so I'm going to go over those briefly and do a little comparison. Stay tuned. Okay, first up is this new old stock USA made Imperial flaring and swaging kit. Got a great deal on this, basically paid a third of the price for new, and I believe the new ones are being made in Taiwan, but this is, as far as I know, 100% USA. Not entirely sure about the tube cutter, but it is a very nice tube cutter. And the main reason I picked this up was I was watching a South Main Auto video where he said he's got the Master Cool set, which you'll see in a later part of the tour. I do have the Master Cool set. And he's also got the Eastwood flaring tool, which is another high-end flaring tool that works pretty well. But he said he actually prefers this old school kit over both of them. So I've never actually owned this style. The first flaring tool I bought, because I mostly have dealt with 3/16, like I'd say almost entirely 3/16, except for maybe rare occasions, was this. So this actually got me by for a while. And then I bought that Master Cool set. And so I never bothered to pick this up. But after watching that video, I was like, you know what? I kind of want that. I want to try that because the way he used it in the video, it seemed very convenient and useful. So, and he even said that's his favorite style. I will at some point in the future make a comparison video between all three of my options now, that, and the Master Cool set. So on to the next thing. This isn't new, but I forgot to mention it in the video. It was tucked under the front lip of the drawer, and that is the SAE swivel impact set, so 1/4 inch. I got that on a Steals and Deals. It was probably like 40 bucks. That was the main reason I bought it, but yeah, typical SK USA quality, pretty awesome. I don't know if you can get it anymore. You probably can't warranty it, but whatever. It was a great value, so I figured I'd show that off. Okay, now here's the thing I'm really excited about. And man, the chrome on this thing was so nice, I didn't want to just bang it on the top of my stainless steel surface, so I put it on its bag, at least for now. Because man, they just did a beautiful job on this. So what it is it's the Vim Tools 3/4 inch extendable ratchet with a removable head and a breaker bar attachment. So here's the breaker bar number. I don't know if this is interchangeable with other 3/4 inch styles. This is the only extendable 3/4 I own. There you go, BBA 34. And this thing, basically, you've probably seen this maybe in some of the extendable breaker bars or whatever, but you push, and I think some of the other ratchets of this style, but basically you just push this in and you can extend it to these different settings. It goes from, right now I think it's like 27 inches, I believe, and it goes to 41 inches. So it's basically the same length as this guy when it's fully extended. This Tecton breaker bar. It's supposed to be able to withstand up to like 1,556, 57 foot-pounds. Basically, you could say 1,560 foot-pounds, which is pretty insane. So yeah, to remove the head, basically, it's the one thing you can't do with your finger. You just need like a punch, or something, like a pin punch. Just push that in, slide it up, screwdriver, push that in, slide it off. It's got 45 teeth. Woo! Strong. Yeah, this thing's just solid as a rock. Woo! Yeah, very nice. I mean, it feels even more solid than the Easy Red or the Matco. So I just think this thing is a huge winner from Vim. And it's just super cool they give you the breaker bar head if you don't want to put that strain on the ratchet itself. So that'll just make it last longer. Of course, Vim's really good with their warranty. So I'm going to compare it. I've got one other thing to compare it to, which is a kit I've had here in the shop for a couple of years now. Got a great deal on it. So this is the This is the Precision Instruments 1938. Oh, it's made in the USA since 1938, sorry. I'm not sure what the part number is on this, but basically this is a 3/4 inch torque wrench. Which I hardly ever need here because most of the stuff we work on is like, you know, passenger and light and medium duty, passenger cars and light and medium duty trucks. But just as a point of comparison, so you've got the breaker, you've got the torque wrench here. See, and it's your typical, it's a beam style torque wrench made by the inventor of the beam style torque wrench, Precision Instruments. Then you've got an extension. So you get, I think it brings the torque wrench to something like 40 inches or whatever, you know, 36, 40 inches. And then you also have a breaker bar attachment for this head. Now granted, you know, this is a ratcheting head, but this thing is supposed to be basically dang near indestructible. Super beefy. Now, when I got this kit, it was, I paid under $300 for it. It was a killer deal, especially with the breaker bar. Just as a point of comparison, you can see this size difference in the heads. I mean, there's a difference. I wouldn't say it's a massive difference, but you can kind of see it. You can kind of see it there. Let's turn it, let's try turning it this way. So, yeah, just a beast. So, I mean, if you need a torque wrench and a breaker bar, this kit's pretty darn good. Now, at this point in time, it's like selling for over $500. I mean, it's a lot of steel. USA made, so it's not surprising. But this guy, you know, can be had for around $200. There's a part number in this ratchet, and there it is fully extended. So there's a 41 inches of glory right there. All right, so it seems to me that right out of the box, this head's a little dry on this FIM 3/4 inch ratchet. So I'm going to grease it with some super lube. Figured you'd want to see the insides of the ratchet. I don't have the best camera setup here, so I know you're kind of viewing it from the side. But I'll show you what the guts look like. And then also, you need a T10. So I'm using an RBRT on a Mac ratchet. Hey, look at that. But you need a T10 to take out the two torque screws in the head, holding the faceplate in place, which is pretty easy. These things come out real easy. Which is kind of nice because they didn't strip them out. I don't know if you've noticed some new ratchets, if you look at the screws, it looks like somebody was really going to town on that joint. But yeah, these came out real easy. Despite the fact they look like they have blue Loctite on them. I don't know, unless maybe that's the way it comes from the factory because they expect you to lube your own. Oh, there you go. All right, so that's what we're looking at on the inside. It actually is greased pretty well. Yeah, and as you can see, so that 1,500 foot-pounds, nice beefy pawl. Really strong teeth. Just a good looking unit overall. And you can see you can kind of see the teeth there. It looks like at any one time you've got 1, 2, 3. You got at least 3 teeth of engagement. And we're talking about 3/4 inch, so I mean these things are beefy. I don't know if it comes through on camera, but this is big. It's not as big as that USA Precision Instruments. That thing is freaking a work of art. But this is pretty nice. Pretty beefy, pretty big. All right, so we finished adding some grease to it. This is hard to do with one hand. Probably should have kept the stand out, but pretty smooth, pretty nice. Yeah, very nice. Now, one thing, I don't know what it is with like, it seems like this happens a lot with these ratchets, these torque screws. You got to be really careful. I actually stripped this one out trying to tighten it. I didn't over tighten it or anything. It's just like I was tightening it and it kind of just gave out. So I guess I'll have to try to get a replacement for that. I mean, it's tight enough to use, but yeah, I don't like the idea of having a strip screw in the head. So always be careful with these things. All right, next drawer. Drink it in. It's mostly wrenches. So again, this is an SAE double box inset with a 0 offset on one side. It's gear wrench. You know, everyone's seen that somewhere. I've got the metric version over in the tool cart. It's an Icon. I've got a random crowfoot there from Tecton. I think that's USA made. It's pretty good. This is a nice set. They're Carlisle thin wrenches. So I've got a complete set of that. This is kind of I forget where this came from, but it's a twist. It's a gear wrench twist ratcheting wrench. I think it got sent to me to test out. It was just a single wrench, not the whole set, so it lives in there. I've got a 1/4 inch gear wrench just to kind of complete that set because it starts at 5/16. This is actually the 120 XP version. I couldn't get the other one. It wasn't available. I love this set. It's like stubby flex head gear wrench. These were still made in Taiwan, actually, even when the regular ratcheting wrenches went over to China. I don't know if they still are, but it's a great set. Then back here I've got Tecton stubbies. They're excellent. I've got a Pittsburgh ratcheting stubby ratcheting wrench set. Oh yeah, this one's metric. This one's standard. So that's basically my standard set, and that's pretty excellent. This is a Blackhawk. This is a complete stubby ratcheting wrench set. It's metric by Blackhawk. I'll pull it out. It looks pretty cool. Yeah, so Blackhawk by Proto. This is a great set, and it's covers. Look at the sizes, like 6 all the way to 19. Stubby ratcheting. Now, I believe they discontinued this for some reason. I'm not sure why, and replaced it with a reversible stubby ratcheting wrenches. So I think if you were to buy a new, you would get a reversible ratcheting wrench set. And I'm not sure if they still sell them in these rolls. So I actually bought this new old stock off of eBay not super long ago, maybe like a year ago. And yeah, Blackhawk by Proto, great quality. You know, Proto quality, good stuff. Okay, I really like this set actually. Let's fit that in there. So this right here is a Stahlwille. Open box 13 is the part number, more or less. Yeah, it just says Germany. So what these are is it's like a standard wrench set, but they're actually thin. So most of the time I use these because they're comfortable. They're like normal wrenches, but they're thin by design, and so they can actually get into places that a lot of other wrenches, you know, the standard wrenches typically will not. Now, the set did not have a 16 or an 18, I believe. So I filled it with this dual-sided Hazet. That's another option, is that you could go dual-sided and have less wrenches. But I got a killer deal on this Stahlwille set, so I went with it. And then I've got Capri SAE thin wrenches. Those are metric. I've got the standard Tecton SAE and metric crow's feet, and then underneath I've got the snap-on crow's feet, the flare nut crow's feet. And then here I've got SK, and that's metric. Here I've got SK SAE flare nut crow's feet. This is like a hodgepodge of SAE flare nut wrenches that I actually bought the Armstrong roll off of eBay because it just fit them very well. They're mostly snap-on, some SK, kind of a little bit of a hodgepodge. All right, so we've got a really good, in my opinion, I think the best pass-through socket set that you can get, because this Pittsburgh set you can use with because again, they have the ball detent, you can use them with a regular ratcheting wrench. I just think it makes it a lot more dynamic for a pass-through set. I'll go into that's some RBRT stuff back there. We'll go into that in a second. We'll just finish this out. So we've had I think I said SAE, I'm not sure, but These back here are the Tecton SAE stubbies. These are the, sorry, metric stubbies. These are the SAE stubbies. This is a wrench I inherited that has sizes that nothing else does. So it's just here just in case. There's a snap-on flare nut wrench set. Great set. Line wrenches. Awesome. This is the Icon flex head. I think that's Icon. Yeah. Icon flex head ratcheting wrenches SAE. This is the Koken flare nut sockets. Pretty awesome. It doesn't cover every size, but you know, this is long before you could get the Lyle version. Basically, you had Koken and Snap-on, so I went Koken. And thus far, I've been pretty happy with them. Haven't had to use them much, and I haven't missed any of the sizes that are missing. Just some random wrenches I have, like that I don't have elsewhere. Everywhere from Wright to Proto to Cobalt. Here's the Snap-on standard wrench set. Yeah, I like to keep covers on everything. We don't really have an issue with I wouldn't say we have an issue with rust. I run dehumidifiers and I put these desiccants in here. So I probably don't really need to keep these covers, and then back here is the SAE reversible ratcheting wrench set, Snap-on as well. And then back here, we've got some RBRT sets that didn't fit anywhere else. They're rather large. This is, I believe this is the triple square extra long set. Yeah, it's actually a lot longer. I had the regular max set, but these are actually much longer. And those are RBRT, and it's more complete too. So I traded in the like the regular max set for the, you know, for those. All right, next to that, in that same drawer is the short triple square set, RBRT as well. And then also this is these are external torque sockets. This is a nice set because A, it's impact, and then B, it goes up to 8 millimeter in 1/4 inch. And I'm going to show you, I have another set that I highly recommend that we'll get to later in the tour that are chrome external torque sockets. Actually, I got a couple to recommend for you. Because I think anyone that's actually used external torque sockets knows that oftentimes you need a 10 in 1/4 inch, and sometimes you even need a 12 in 1/4 inch, and not a lot of sets come with those. All right, so that's basically the overflow wrenches, I guess you could say. All right, now we got a screwdriver, etc. drawer, picks, all kinds of stuff. So we've got your radiator pick set. All right, so down in here I've got some Klein nut drivers. I've got this 4-piece Mako seal pick set. I wish they came in like a tray or something, because I don't really have a good place to put them. They kind of just fall all over the place. So I just kind of like sit them here, and they usually end up down in there somewhere. There's one of them. There's another one. I've got I actually bought these individually, and then the place I bought them from sold me the tray later. But these are the SK version, made in USA, of course, of the adjustable pry bars. Freaking awesome. And then I just have a little old school Husky USA, actually. Cotter pin puller, I think you call it. Yeah, then we got the mini snap-on screwdrivers. I hardly ever use those. I kind of use I use little pocket pry bars and the free screwdrivers that you get. All right, so now back here we've got more specialty pliers. A lot of hose clamp pliers and stuff. So these Mac hose clamp pliers are awesome. I don't know if they're rebranded AST or something like that, but they're really good. I love those in a pinch. I actually just got these. I literally just put these in my box, just now. It's the Knipex 7-inch click clamp pliers. They're quite nice. There's a clutch hose clamp, or hose pinch off pliers, I guess you would say. Clutch branded. I think that's actually made in Taiwan. I think it's identical to the Mac tools, and it was a lot cheaper. That's why I bought it. Because I also have the is this Matco? I think this one's actually Matco. Yeah. All right. So this one's Matco. Never mind. That's Mac tools. So it's actually identical to the Matco, This is the bent version of that. And it was way cheaper than the Matco. So I got the Matco first, the bent version. Then when I wanted a straight version, and I found the clutch at Northern Tool. Then you got the gear wrench, extended reach, hose clamp pliers, same deal. Obviously you only use them when you have to. Otherwise, most of the time, something like this, it's pretty convenient. You just slide it down and do your business. And I've got various like hose pinch off tools. These are obviously incredible for hose clamps. I love this. I love these, that style. These are probably the best for those certain types of clamps. There's certain types of hose clamps, like kind of like the bar on one side, and it has like the bar with an opening on the other side, and you slide this side into the side with an opening, and then you kind of cradle the other side with this. Here, let's get this there. See, it opens up like that. You put that up, and then it just ratchets close. And these are just like the old Blue Points, but they're made by Snap-on, I'm pretty sure. I think Snap-on makes these themselves. It does have that Snap-on type of handle. And the whole thing is lifetime warranty. Cups are much more heavy duty than those old aluminum ones on the Blue Points. And they cover both styles. So these are real nice for like, disconnecting hoses. These are just Lisle. They work really well. Actually, they work well for separating anything that's round, to be honest. They hold up pretty well. They're made in the United States. They don't say Lisle or anything. Typically, Lisle doesn't brand their stuff. But anyway, they're not very expensive. And then you have I'm not crazy about this style. That's why I have so many other styles. But this is your plastic hose clamps. Sometimes sometimes they work. They're obviously a little bit safer to use, I guess. Anyway, this is another bag of like hose pinch off tools. It's mostly a couple random things I got, and then a whole set that you can get from Harbor Freight, which is actually an excellent set and totally worth it. All right, over here you've got your hog ring pliers. These are the only ones I own. This is for adjusting a certain type of tie rod, like on my 94 YJ, for alignments. And then behind that you've got the hanger, the ubiquitous hanger pliers everybody's got. I can't remember if mine are branded. I think mine are just Lisle. Pretty sure these aren't rebranded. I mean, all the tool trucks rebrand them, but I think this pair is OEM. It's Lisle. And these, these are a rebrand too. Obviously, the Blue Point hose cutters or whatever. But basically round hose cutters. Great, love those. Use those quite often, and I've never had to change the blade yet. Here I have two super long screwdrivers from Masterforce, Menards. I used to live in the Midwest, for a stretch, so I knew about Menards, and I knew that, they were still selling like USA Tools when Craftsman stopped or Sears stopped. So I loaded up on certain things. Like these were like $5 a piece, and they're like 24, 25 inches long, and yeah, very well made. Obviously, they're made by Pratt Reed, so they're great. I did the same thing at stubbies here. I've got a random Klein stubby that's a little bit thicker. I got a nice Tecton set of the standard stubby sizes. Love that set, USA. We've got a Snap-on. The reason I bought this, I've got another Matco screwdriver set over there. I've got more screwdrivers than... I could arm a small country with screwdrivers. But anyway, I bought this set because it came with a ratcheting screwdriver, which I use over there. And basically it was so cheap that you got I think you got either the set or the ratcheting screwdriver for free, because it was like the same price of the set without the screwdriver. It's like $100 for this set. And so you got an $80 ratcheting screwdriver for free. I did add this one. It's a slightly longer Phillips 2. Fill that little hole there. Gray was cool, so I went with it. Now I got a random assortment of, so these are basically your insulated screwdrivers. Every once in a while, who knows, with all the Teslas we're seeing these days, maybe they'll come out more often. But then I've got a really giant Weha screwdriver. It's good for certain applications. Like it's huge. This is like a 1/2 inch. It's got a huge blade, and it's just good for certain applications. This is actually my great uncle's World War II mechanics screwdriver that he was given, and he carried around with him for the duration of the war. I believe he was a tank mechanic in World War II. But anyway, that thing survived the war, and now it's in my toolbox. How many years later? Then you've got a Milwaukee demolition driver right there. All right, so moving on. I actually bought this Pittsburgh pick set like, I don't know, 12, 13 years ago. I've used these as like alignment tools. I've tried to break them. I mean, I haven't tried, but I've punished these things, these bigger ones. And man, they have held up just fine. I've never had an issue with them. The smaller picks, maybe a couple of the tips are bent, but I still use those all the time. I haven't broken one of those yet either. So, and that whole set is a lifetime warranty. It's kind of crazy. Giant hose saw, just needed to stick it somewhere. Really nice cabinet screwdriver. I think that's an 1/8. Yeah, it comes in handy every once in a while. You've got your flat bladed radiator pick set. These are the ones I use most of the time. I actually got that set off of another guy on Garage Journal. That's why I own it. It was a good deal. Couldn't pass it up. So now here I've got some of your circlip or your retaining ring, snack ring pliers, whatever you want to call them. These are the bigger ones. These are just to fill in what's a couple sizes I needed that weren't covered in the 7-piece snap-on set. You know, I know they have a 12-piece set now, way too expensive. I more or less have what I need. This is the snap-on. This is the snap-on impact driver, hand impact driver. I'll open it up because I've got some other stuff in here, which is probably worth mentioning or talking about. So, yeah, that's the snap-on screwdriver. I've got a couple adapters over there, and I've got some larger size, other size. This is old USA Vim. This is Vera. One of these is like an Apex bit or something. Let's see. Yeah, it says Apex. The rest of these are Taiwan Vim, and then these are actually Vessel. So these are. So for example, you've got your Honda rotor screw. Yeah, these are actually. I mean, of course, you can use those Vessel screwdrivers, but this is actually a Vessel set, and I think it goes 1, 2, 3, and then a large flat blade. I believe this is a 3. But yeah, so you've got your JIS tips, and they fit the. I think this is 5/16. They fit your larger bit adapter. Like around $10, I think, off of eBay. Direct from Japan, actual Vessel bits for your hand impact. All right, next drawer would be like the panel clip drawer. So these are actually OEM Honda panel clip removers. Like they remove the kinds where you have like the little thing in the center that you got to pull up, but it doesn't have the grooves. So these will actually grab onto it and get it out. At least that's what that end does. I'm not sure. Maybe this is for larger ones. I don't really use this end, but I guess you can. You can kind of use it as like a pry tool. I've got just random Sawzall blades in there. I've got my collection of panel poppers. The SK is the best. This thing is freaking awesome. It's basically like your standard American adjustable pry bar, but with a panel clip puller on the end. And this is a tool that goes with it. It's also pretty handy for getting under those panel clips that are really hard to pry up. And then you got the kind for pushing pins through. This is actually a Volkswagen specialty tool. I forget, it has something. I think it was like a window. What was it now? I can't remember what it's actually for. It's like a rear window regulator or something. Yeah, I just don't remember, but it actually works really well as a panel clip tool. I got the tip off of a guy on Garage Journal like a decade ago, and got the specialty tool. You've got your gear wrench pliers with a little. Like I said, I think the Honda ones work better, but these things are okay. I've got the angled ones. These actually are really good. This is the Matco version, but Dent Fix makes them. Those are they're the kind that you basically pull them together like that. So they have both. Let's get that to focus. So they have like a blade so you can cut the panel clip, and then they also have this so you can pull the panel clip, and they work really well. In fact, you can use those for most applications. Let's see, this is just something off of a radio I installed for somebody, just kept it in case. some extra air fitting stuff from an old kit. These are great. These are the long carbide burr set, branded Matco. They are warranted, but you know, I think you can, I'm not sure if you can get those from Astro, but for a lot less, I think you can. And then this is the same thing. This is the Matco set. They are warranted, but much cheaper through Astro. ASCO. This is, I just picked up. I did not have, and I almost regretted not having, because I will admit I've used those on aluminum a couple of times. But these are Chief branded from Harbor Freight, aluminum carbide burr bits. Very, very affordable, and from the reviews I read, they actually work extremely well. So they're quality carbide burrs. And yeah, I think with a coupon, you could probably get them for under $60 for an aluminum set. I think that's a pretty darn good deal. And again, I don't know why this thing keeps going in and out of focus. It's kind of annoying. The reviews on it were really good, so I figured, what the heck, we'll pull the trigger when I had a coupon. These are I think these are 1/8, kind of like basically Dremel carbide burrs. It's a Dremel carbide burr set. Pretty good, snap-on. You know, you can get those. I've seen them now offered by like Matco, etc. This is, of course, you know, everybody's got this tool now. You know, started out in the aerospace industry or whatever. But basically, it's just like a really thin piece of metal and it works amazing as for popping different things like trim. You know, for popping trim off. I've got your little plastic Mac trim set. I think they warranty these for a year, not lifetime, because I know I got a couple of them replaced, but I think my warranty's expired. Here's the does it say the brand on here? No, but these are basically the snap-on panel, plastic panel clip tools, plus I've added some random other ones. And this is the OEM that makes snap-on. Theirs are blue, snap-ons are black, obviously. And this is another Matco set. It's pretty good, pretty decent. These are kind of stiff and they do break easily, so I don't tend to put them through a lot of abuse, and I don't think they're warranted. But they were cheap when they were on sale. We'll just keep going down. So this would be like the oh crap drawer plus drill bits. So back here I've got, and I haven't really used these. These are the ring extractors that I saw, you know, Matco was like one of the first to come out. Why can I not get this to focus? It's driving me nuts. Come on. Focus. Okay, there we go. So these are those ring extractors. Now the difference with this set is it's lifetime warranty and it was made in Taiwan, not China. Seems to be made better quality, but basically it's your ring extractor set, just like the Matco that a lot of people have. And you've got left-handed drill bit, like a large left-handed drill bit set from Harbor Freight. That's better. I've got screw extractors from Hazit. They're pretty cool. Let's open that up because I bet not as many people in my audience know Hazit. So actually, they're kind of the spiral extractors more so than the screw extractors, but they're just a little bit more aggressive than your standard spiral extractors. So they come in handy every once in a while. I like to I like to make sure I'm well covered on oh, that's why that one moved. Get back there, little guy. Yeah, I like to make sure I'm well covered on extractors. If I break one of those, I'm not going to get it warranted. I'm not going to Germany. You got the old school Blue Point extractor set. I'm not going to open it up. I think most people have seen that. That's the ones with the little screws, or they have a straight piece. It comes with like drill bits, like a straight piece and a little nut that you stick on the end. And what you can do is you can actually do extraction in like tight areas with that, or recessed areas. So it works. It works okay. I believe it's made by Rigid because the drill bits say Rigid on them. So back here, I just have 2 drill indexes, and what these are is they're lettered and numbered for sizes that match my tap and die set that were not included in other sets. So rather than having to look at a chart, you know, and try to like match between like the inch measurements, metric, you know, letters and numbers, I just got the exact sizes that are recommended for those taps and dies, and they live in these cases here. This is your standard Mac extractor set. This is the left-handed. I mainly use this for the left-handed drill bits, not so much the spirals. And I've broken, I found that these left-handed drill bits break a lot easier than the right-handed bits that you get in this kit. So this is your 29-piece, you know, Mac drill bit set. This is your Matco Hyperstep set. You know, those are awesome. The Cobalt, those are probably my go-to right there. They're warranted down to a quarter. The Mac set is warranted. All of them are warranted. So Mac, great deal. And these are also jobber length. The Matcos are mechanics length. So got different lengths there too. And this is just a Milwaukee step drill bit set. These step drill bits are made in the USA. They're not cheap. I didn't actually buy this kit. I got it, or I was given it. But yeah, they're not super cheap if you look them up, but made in USA quality, pretty cool. So over here you got your typical tap sockets. I've got the complete set. Those are great, obviously. I also have the deep Mac RBRTs. I haven't had a chance to use these yet, actually. The deep 3/8 Mac RBRT extractor set. And I had another Matco shallow extractor socket set like this, but I wasn't crazy about it, so I actually traded it in for the kind I kind of like, the old school Irwin, the old school Irwin kind of like turbo socket style. They had it in a recent flyer, so I traded in that set for the other set, and it just hasn't come in yet, so that's why I have a gap. But yeah, I haven't had a chance to use these. The reason I only got the 3/8, I did add one, I think this is a quarter. I added the 10mm and quarter, and they do sell those are the little extractor guys, you know, like that push if the bolt gets stuck when you extract it, those little things you screw into this, you know, the other side of the socket, and it pushes the bolt out. So I got the one that fits the 10mm. They actually sell those individually. They're not expensive either. And so I've got 10 basically through 19. And the only reason the reason I only went with the 3/8 deeps is the shallows. The hex at the base of the shallows is so fat that I think it just seemed to me like it would create an issue. You know, it would kind of create an obstruction. So with the deeps, you don't have to worry about that. So down here, I just have some chisels, some random chisels. Some of the, this is a fairly new set of Mayhew. Got a good deal on it, Mayhew. The brass punches. This is a Harbor Freight set of punches and chisels I've had forever. They work great, actually. Yeah, they've really held up well. And then this is a proto set that complements it. Let's see. Yeah, here's some taps. Tap wrenches. This is a Starrett. I've had this forever. It's amazing. This is actually a German one that's ratcheting. It's pretty cool. And then I've got a couple you know, an automatic center punch and then a Starrett center punch. I've got the little snap-on gauge for like fixing the, you know, the blade on your chisels when it gets damaged, which, you know, happens with every chisel really. Now this is I don't know how I feel about this set. This is a snap-on. These are the twist type of extractors. I have a proto set that I was actually using more so than this, that I took home when I got this set. Haven't really used it. I'm not sure how I feel about the spiral style of you know, of straight extractor yet, but we'll see. This is now this kit. This is the RBRT extractor set, and I've had some luck with these, and then other times it hasn't worked. And the straight proto set, which I don't have here, worked instead. So, you know, they are pretty cool. They have the little sleeve where you can back, you know, again, the fastener after you extract it, which is pretty cool. So I think it's a good set overall. I've just been kind of disappointed because I was like, I expected it to be like, you know, the second coming. I expected the skies to part and the light to shine down on the workpiece, and for that like fastener just to look at these things and back itself off. But yeah, that hasn't been the case. I'm not saying they're bad. I think sometimes the bottom line is just nothing quite works, especially when you get into the smaller sizes. So this is a set of Pittsburgh or Harbor Freight, you know, roll pin punches. They're lifetime warranty. There was like $10, $12, and they've been great. Like, I use those things all the time, and I haven't bent one, I haven't broken one. And they hold, you know, they hold up as well as anything. I do have a Starrett set at home, which I keep at home because these things refuse to die. I've also got the Snap-on 15-piece screw extractor set. I used to have a bigger set, but I didn't need the larger sizes, so I actually sold it. And then underneath, I've got a Craftsman rethreading kit. Everyone's got the rethreading kit. Now, what was kind of cool is, like, if you went to a Sears back in the day, they sold you like a 45-piece kit. And again, that's just a thread restoring kit that you've seen on every video. But they sold a 45-piece kit that was missing some of the pieces in the larger kit that you could buy from like Snap-on, Matco, or whatever. But if you went on the website, this is the Sears website back in the day, you could actually order the same kit, the 48-piece kit. And, you know, with all the fire sales they had when they were unloading their USA tool stock, I don't know, I think I got that thing for peanuts. Yeah, so here's the Craftsman you know, thread repair kit. Like I said, it's identical to Snap-on and everyone else. You probably can't find this anymore. So this advice I'm about to give you isn't that useful. But basically what you can do is you could back in the day buy this kit for, holy crap, like 1/5 of the price of a tool truck. And then what you do is you wear out one of these dies. You just get a replacement. I ordered this by accident. I didn't need it, so it just lives in here. But this is actually a Snap-on. And I paid like $2 or $3 for it, and it's identical to that. So once you wear one of these out and you replace it with like a Snap-on, now you got a lifetime warranty. And to be honest, I'm not really sure how Snap-on tells the difference because they don't actually put a brand on it. So if you were dishonest, I'm not suggesting this because I would never do this, but if you were dishonest, you could warranty these with a Snap-on dealer. Maybe you should get a Snap-on label. I mean, it is red. I joke. I joke. Alrighty, moving down. So this one's actually going to take a little bit of time. So I guess we'll just do layer by layer to go over. You know, these are all blow molded cases in this large bottom drawer of the toolbox, but pretty impressive. You know, that's got to be a lot of weight, and you know, it has no issues going in and out as you would expect with a top of the line Snap-on box. Okay, this is my new brake caliper wind back kit from Harbor Freight Icon. It's actually this is a really, really nice looking kit. You know, it's pretty much identical to the other one, but just the finish is a bit nicer. It has a lifetime warranty. You know, really cool case. So, oh, and the magnets seem to hold a bit better on this. So it doesn't have the same issues as the other kit. But again, you know, this was probably maybe 2.5 times the price of the other kit after that kit, after a coupon. But you really can't beat, you got to give, no matter what you think of Harbor Freight, you got to give them credit for these cases. They're freaking sweet. They really are. All right. Next, we've got the Snap-on bolt grip puller set. I actually bought this used years ago, and it's a great set because, like, you know, you can do whatever you want to the bolts in here, and yeah, amazing, right? I got this used, and I've taken great care of it since. I greased the center, you know, I greased the forcing screw. I WD-40 the bolts. I take good care of them. But the thing is, like, you break one of these bolts, it's lifetime warranty. You can get a replacement. So it's pretty handy set. Let's see what else we got down here. There's your harmonic balancer installer kit, 53,790. That is Lyle. I got to try to remember with the order I put all these things in, because it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard to get them all back in there otherwise. All right, let's open this up. This one I haven't used yet. I actually got not too long ago. But what I liked about this particular kit, you know, from Lyle, is that it has the longer screws, and it has the spacer adapters. So you can do a lot more with this kit than you can a lot of the kits you have out there, unless you buy like the long and the short kits. Also have, I've got the, these are the stud removers. This is actually, this is Calvan. They're the OEM for Snap-on. So I've got Calvan in SAE and I've got Snap-on in metric. And there is a slight difference. So let's take a look here. So we got the SAE version, which actually has a metal clasp. Pretty nice. And there you go. And so that's the Calvan version. And then here's the Snap-on version back here. Sorry, moving the phone as I do this. So here's the Snap-on version. And there actually is a difference. So if you open one of these up, I'll show you the difference. Okay, so yeah, they are the Snap-on. So the Snap-on isn't just a rebrand of Calvan. They actually, as you can see, the top piece threads together with the bottom piece on the Snap-on. And then on the Calvan, it's actually just a pressure fit. So you just push that in there. Whereas with the Snap-on, it actually screws in. So I mean, the Snap-on's a bit more robust. It's a bit nicer overall. All right, I've got a USA made OTC 10-pound slide hammer. There's the shaft for it over there. It's kind of nice because it actually works with all my adapters for my other slide hammer kit, which I'll show you in a second. Then of course I've got I went in on that deal a little while ago for the Mac style, or the traditional style. They're usually chrome stud pullers, and sometimes these do come in handy because they're a little bit for access reasons. Sometimes these work when the other style has more of an issue working. All right, we also have this is actually a great kit. I really like this. I think these guys are the originals for making the plastic rivet tool. And when you see them elsewhere, like they're copies. But it's a nice kit. It actually comes with the plastic rivets plus the tool. And the brand I think it's interesting. It's called it's like Huck Fasteners is the brand. There we go. But I'm pretty sure they're the ones that created that tool first, and that particular kit works really well. I've heard other people complain about the cheap knockoffs, but that particular tool holds up. So I just have 2 Milwaukee hole saw kits. Not that interesting. We got a couple of your ubiquitous gear, like the old school label gear wrench kits. This is the magnetic spark plug socket set. So I also have this. This does come in handy sometimes. But the reason I bought that Snap-on set that you saw earlier is because sometimes it's nice to have a longer shaft on the spark plug socket. That actually, so that way you don't have like the swivel kind of moving around and potentially hitting the, like the cylinder walls. But yeah, it's just that's your standard kit, rebranded by Matco and others for years. And then this is just your serpentine belt kit. The old school one with doesn't have the flex head on the ratcheting end, but works well. Does what it needs to do. Okay, we've got a Craftsman rebranded. Pretty sure this is I can't get it out. Hold on. Let's do these first. This is another Lyle. I forget what this is. Oh yeah, pulley puller set. This is another good one. Like for certain things, you just cannot beat Lyle. So check this out. It's a pretty complete pulley puller set. This is, I think this is is this my OTC? No, what is this? Oh, gear wrench. Oh, that's right. Yeah, we'll get to those. I don't have any measuring equipment in there. This is the This is the O2 set, or the O2, like the sensor socket set. So this thing pretty much does the same thing as the snap-on. I think, yeah. Or is it a... Yeah, that's it. Yeah, it pretty much does the same thing as the snap-on. They both work. It's a good set. I got it when it was super cheap years ago. Below that, you've got your typical 70, you know, your snap-on tap and die set. There's the master, the master set. You know, great set. Rebranded Irwin. Bulletproof. Well, not really, but warranted. All right. Oh, and then this is I believe this is a Craftsman slide hammer puller kit. They actually came back out with this. I've seen them in Lowe's. This dates back to the. This definitely goes back to the. Definitely goes back to the Sears days. And like I said, what's nice about it is that's a 5-pound slide hammer in there, but it works. But the attachments and whatnot work with the OTC 10-pound. If I really want to wail on something, I think that's it for that drawer. Yeah, that's it. All right, moving down to the middle section. So this is my kind of big plier, etc. drawer, and random. So I've got some lady slippers over there, and most of those are like Harbor Freight, but a couple of them are SK and Mayhew. Big one's Mayhew, one of the smaller ones is SK, the rest is Harbor Freight. They all about work the same. So we got my old school collection of Craftsman style Western Forge wrenches, except for we've got one little Mac there. I don't know, I guess they make their own. I don't know if they're still USA or not, but that one's USA. My Mac dealer sold it to me. Those are all, that's a Craftsman set, the adjustables. I can't part with those. It's like nostalgia. So many times I've had to talk myself out of buying the snap-ons because I want to continue to use my old Craftsman adjustables. I love them. Then I've got a rigid, which is, you know, the same exact wrench, just branded rigid. And these actually come in handy for like doing stuff around the shop as well, like fixing, you know, like airlines and stuff like that. They're great. And then this is actually a thin channel lock adjustable wrench. That's one of the ones made in Spain, just like the snap-ons. It's freaking awesome. Like I said, check that out. Really thin jaws. So that's actually great for like changing, you know, dies and attachments on your air and power tools, mostly air tools. I've got a strap wrench, which I mostly just use to change like filters and stuff, like on our air system. Don't use that really on vehicles that much, but it's great. It's made by Reed in Pennsylvania, not far from here actually. Great company. Been around forever. They're kind of like a big time competitor of Rigid. So I've got a couple of the Mac, you know, that style of vice grips, obviously the clamp style. I've got 2 larger Milwaukees. That covers me there. I've got a rigid pipe wrench. This is cool. I just got these. This is the one size of Knipex I've been missing, which is the 17 millimeter, or sorry, the 17 inch, or I forget what the millimeter equivalent is. But these are actually from a company in Germany called Recca that you can get from a company online called jensputzier.com or something like that. Like it's like JENSPUTZIER, Jens Putzier. They're in Germany, but they can actually get these green handled Cobras, you know, for you, and other green handled German tools, as well as, you know, many, like pretty much all the Knipex. And what's cool is, like, so the Matco came out with green handles. I'm not sure they're like these. These are actually like plastic dipped, kind of closer to like a channel lock sort of. They kind of have their own unique texture, but they're not like this style. They're not kind of like, they don't have a coarse surface. These are the 17 inch. You can't get 17 inch greens in Matco right now. I got these in like 3 days. It was incredible. The price was amazing. The service was amazing. He even like included German treats in the box. Like it was packaged with love and care. I've got the Snap-on BWZs. Actually, I haven't had a chance to use the larger ones yet. The smaller ones, like, you know, come in handy most of the time. These, I didn't get these that long ago either, and the first day I got them, I had to use them, and they're just, these are so great. Okay, hammer drawer. I am proud of my hammer collection. Each one of these like serves a unique purpose. So I've got the small Mac anti-vibe. Oh, come on, focus. I've got small Mac anti-vibe, the smallest anti-vibe ball peen hammer back there. I've got the large, and I don't use these as much as these, but I've got the large snap-on brass hammer there. They actually warranted it when you wear at the brass, which is kind of amazing. I've got a Craftsman, you know, mechanics hammer, small sledge there. I've got the or engineer's hammer, I think they call that. Old school USA, of course. Rebranded Estwing, probably. I think that's who made those. We've got the second largest. No, I don't know if it's the second largest, but this is the largest snap-on ball peen I own. This is this one size down. This is a 16 ounce, I think. I think that's like, that's not 24 maybe, and that's 32. I don't remember. But that's the big boy. It's 100th anniversary. That's why I bought that. Because it said 100th anniversary. I mean, I was gonna buy that size, but 100th anniversary is what sold me on the gray. And this is the next size down. This is an SK I got in Steals and Deals. It's a great little dead blow. Love that thing. Obviously rebranded Trusty Cook. This right here is, like I said, this is probably my most used ball peen. It's just like a perfect size for just about everything. And this is probably my most used brass hammer size. I think this is 24. That's like 32. And yeah, it just works really well. This is a Milwaukee dead blow. I think this is a 24 ounce. So I think this is 16. This is 24. I just put this in my box. I got this. I was sent that to test out too. It replaced an old school Craftsman, a rebranded Craftsman Nupla USA hammer. And this I actually just got because we just got a Cornwell dealer and I was trying to find something to buy from him. I had another one that was a little bit smaller than this, that it was a Trusty Cook that said Buddy Blaster 52 on it. It was a special edition Trusty Cook that members of Garage Journal were able to order directly from them, like maybe like a decade ago. It had to do with, it was like heavy duty, reinforced, all kinds of cool stuff. I think I've mentioned it in a video before, I'm not sure. But anyway, this is a little bit bigger. So it'll probably come in even more useful for like knocking off tires and stuff. And it was blue. And I tried to find something to buy off the Cornwell guy because he came out to see me. So wanted to break the ice, bought that. I haven't had to use well, I've used this. I just put it back in the package. The wheel stud installer. We've got a couple of these floating around. But I put it back in the package after I use it. It's just probably an easy way. I think it's an easier way to keep track of it. But I haven't opened this yet. We've got a couple more of these floating around too, which I didn't realize before I bought it. And then I found a couple more in our shop box. So I haven't opened that yet. This thing is awesome. So this is the original. This is what inspired the famous Astro pneumatic air hammer. Well, that Astro pneumatic hammer is a copy of this. This is this Chicago pneumatic. There we go. CP717. They call it a zip gun, made in Japan. Believe it or not. Oil daily. Shoot, haven't oiled it in a while. Probably should. Maybe I will after this video is over. So it came in a kit with these guys right here. Unfortunately, I can't use. If I can stay open, I can't use this one with the quick change adapter. This adapter, I think it's made by Ajax, who actually makes most of these bits. At any rate, it's just it is an awesome air hammer. I've actually had, it's so violent, I mean, I've had to rebuild it once, and getting the replacement parts actually was not very hard. Napa is a Chicago pneumatic dealer, so my local Napa store actually got all the replacement parts for me, and you know, it's good as new. This thing is for that is a 498. So it uses 498 bits, which are bigger, more heavy duty. So of course you're going to get more power out of it. Here's a, you know, a smaller engineer, anti-vibe engineer hammer. I think that's the smallest one they make. It's a little bit smaller than the Craftsman. Comes in handy every once in a while. This Mako air hammer is amazing. I wouldn't say it's as powerful as that, but it's not far off for a 401. And it's got the quick change chuck on it. This side looks pretty, the other side doesn't look so pretty. That's why I put that side up, because I like to, looks good. So then I got a bunch of Snap-on air chisels. I like Snap-on, A, because they're well made, but B, because sometimes you can get a deal on them, and they are lifetime warranty, so you beat the crap out of them, they last. So this thing right here is for like holding down like control arms. It works pretty well. You use it with like a pry bar. Let's see, what else do we got? Okay, we have like a heavy duty puller right there, or like seal puller. That's branded Mayhew, I think. I think that's Mayhew. Yeah. I know it's rebranded by some. Here's a Snap-on sledgehammer. Sorry, Snap-on. Here's a Craftsman USA sledge. That is not focusing right. Hold on. Okay, there we go. There's a Craftsman USA sledgehammer. There's a Snap-on body hammer I got off of eBay. Here's a, can you read that? It's a stretch belt installation tool. Works in some cases. Stretch belts. Here's a small file set gear wrench. These are actually really good. They were affordable. That's why I bought them, but they've held up really well. And here's a Snap-on. There's a Snap-on file set. Did I say chisel? Sorry. Small file set. And here's a Snap-on regular size file set. Actually, that's fairly new. I've got a bunch of older files, like really old, that I inherited, that I took home when I got that set. And I've used it a few times, but it's still fairly new. You know, they all work great. Oh, and I do have some longer bits down in there. One's a Snap-on, the other one's an Ajax. Again, I think Ajax makes Snap-on, if Snap-on doesn't make their own. All right, now we got some good stuff going on down here. I've got the Vim Tools metric bleeder wrench set. I've got the Mako SAE bleeder wrench set. I've got the Mueller Coops, whatever. I think that's the 3/16, yeah, brake line straightener. I've got the two Mueller Coops, whatever. Brake caliper, or the caliper bracket files. You know, those things work very well. I tend to use those most of the time, actually, because they work so well. They make doing it by hand pretty simple, so I just use them. And I've got an Eastwood, reamer for your smoothing out the end of your brake line. Caliper piston depressor, compressor, or depressor, whatever. Whatever. Tool. There's one style. There's another style. It's actually Blue Point. Got that on the Snap-on truck. Comes in handy in really tight spaces. I know they make, where is it? Oh yeah, there's the ubiquitous, that's the larger brake caliper depressor. Is it compressor or depressor? I can't remember. But whatever, separator, I don't, whatever it is, you know what it is. It's ratcheting. There's your standard one. Mine's branded Carlisle. Everyone's got them, Snap-on, etc. Now Snap-on makes a smaller version of this that can fit in like really, when you don't have a lot of space. To get the tool in there to push back the piston. But this does the same thing, and it's a lot cheaper. And I've actually used this for other things. Like, I did a brake job not too long ago where it has those like rubber inserts that go around a pin on the end of the, like a narrow pin on the end of a caliper slide pin. And the rubber on there, as well as the rubber boots, like were kind of almost like melted, or just like almost bonded to the inside of the channel that they go in. And this thing actually worked to actually I was able to stick it between like the pin, you know, in the face of the caliper, and just back it off, and it like slowly pulled the thing right out, and I was able to retain the boot, so I didn't have to like fish it out with a pick, which is kind of cool. So yeah, that thing has like lots of little uses, but primarily it can get just as narrow as the really expensive, smaller snap-on version of that and do the exact same thing. And it's a fraction of the price. Probably takes the same amount of time. So here's a quick flaring tool, double flare tool for 3/16. That works really well in tight spaces. You know, there's other versions of it, but it works flawless. It's flawless for me every time. I've got just a couple of brake gauges. Because, you know, these are the approved one in the state of Pennsylvania where we operate. I've got your Master Cool Universal Hydraulic Flaring Kit. So this is the kit I use 90% of the time when I can get away with it, because it makes like perfect flares. I'll show you that real quick. There's a little rough, I think Roethlisberger German tubing cutter. Very nice. But I'll show you this. I mean, you've seen this before. It gets rebranded. Like, I think a lot of people have like the Blue Point version or what. I don't know, is it Blue Point? I don't know. It gets rebranded. But anyway, this is the original set. And what was cool is when I bought this, there was a special going on where they threw in extra stuff. And so they included the extra dies, and they included a tubing cutter with the kit, which was pretty cool. But yeah, this thing's just amazing. So let's turn that around so you can see the part number. Yeah, there you go. So I think PRC might actually, the dash PRC might indicate that it comes with a tubing cutter and a couple of the extra dies. I'm not sure. But at any rate, this was actually cheaper than the kit that was missing that stuff at the time. So strike when the iron is hot. So I've got a tip for you. Here's another Harbor Freight special. This is lifetime warranty, made in Taiwan, not China. Little tubing bender. This thing is freaking awesome. It is really awesome, and it's not expensive. Definitely just get one. Like, it's like $8 or $9, lifetime warranty, made in Taiwan, not China. Then of course I got a larger tubing bender from Eastwood. I've got my brake caliper gauges. To make life easier, I put little, you know, that is the 30 seconds measurement. These are really handy because like you can bend them and kind of get like through the, you know, like through the wheel and get to the pad and get a quick measurement. Underneath that is like those bending pliers or whatever. They don't work very well, to be honest. So over here I've got I think this is Snap-on. Who is this? I think this might be Craftsman. Yeah, this is just a Craftsman, you know, adjusting spoon. It came from a brake tool kit that I actually have at home, because some of the stuff in there doesn't work as well as the individual items I've replaced it with. Like, for example, this. Like, this is a Snap-on. This thing's actually really good. I bought it used, but it's practically new. So, I mean, you know, this is for doing the spring on your drum brakes. It just works extremely well. It grips things. I have a Craftsman one that I pretty much wore out before I replaced it with this one. But again, I got it for pretty cheap off of eBay. You know, here's another one. Here's another one. This is just a Cornwell. It was like new old stock they had. He had a sale on it, so I grabbed it. And then you've got your other. This is also from that Crest. Oh yeah, this is the other one. See, that's the one I used to use. That style plier, again, for drum brakes. So I keep that around. That was from that same brake kit, original brake kit I had. Here's a Matco. You know, here's with a handle for same thing, like turning the spring. I kind of liked it because of like the angle and the, you know, the hand and the grip. So that comes in handy. And then you've got for those side, you know, for the two for the two, I forget what you call them, but basically like they're like the shorter springs with the little metal piece on the end. You know, when you're doing drum brakes, these are just different sizes. These are Performance Tool. Those are 2 Matcos. Between the 4, I pretty much have every size covered. I don't do a ton of drum brakes, but I have them when I need them. Oh yeah, and then this is a Lyle, you know, just for this style, for a particular style of the same thing. So if I need them, I've got them. And then I've got a couple of right angle brake, you know, brake line wrenches or slash, you know, flare, or I'm sorry, bleeder wrenches. Duh, not flare, not wrenches. Jeez, bleeder wrenches. A couple right angle snap-on bleeder wrenches. I warrantied one of those recently because it was basically worn to the point where it wouldn't turn the bleeder screw anymore. But yeah, when they're new like that, they work very well. And sometimes, you know, those right angles just save you when the other shapes don't work. All right, I guess you could say part of my diag stuff is the diag drawer. So I've got, these things are handy. You know, that's the relay bypass. It has the little loops on it, so you can put like an amp clamp on it. And then I've got your jumper kits. I don't have the master kit, but I've got the 2 individuals. You know, kit 1 and kit 2. It's all branded Lyle, good stuff. I've got an OTC incandescent circuit tester here. But basically it's just your incandescent, you know, it uses a traditional light bulb circuit tester. And I think this is, in my opinion, if you're gonna buy one of these, get this one. Like this is a really nice circuit tester. I've got this gear wrench too. This one's pretty old. I think I got it as like new old stock. It was like just a few dollars. This one's pretty nice too. It's kind of longer. I find the OTC like works better in most situations, but this one basically same story. Then of course I've got the snap-on. I've got the snap-on digital. You know, it has the multimeter built in, or at least the voltage reader built in, I should say. And it's the heavy duty one because it comes with a better clamp. So it has like the straight, I like the straight cord. And then as you can see, it's got a heavy duty clamp. Goes up to 24, or was it 48 maybe? 24. Okay, yeah, 1224. Yeah, not 48. No. And let's see, we've got some battery terminal cleaners. This one's German, Hazet again. I just thought it was cool, so the other one just works. The other one works just fine. That's your ubiquitous one. You've got your remote starter over here, branded Mac. You've got your, I think it's a wiper arm puller, but I use it to like when battery terminals are stuck or if anything's stuck, you know, that you can grab these 2 little feet on. It works incredibly well. So since I mainly use it for batteries, it lives in here. Then you've got your retractable test leads, 30 foot, branded Mac, but it's rebranded, I forget. And you've got your terminal spreader, gear wrench, old school. You've got your snap-on. You got your snap-on crimper, stripper crimper. What's cool about that snap-on is that was actually a special issue long before they came out with blue handles. That was they made that for some sort of conference or something where you could buy like you know, limited edition snap-on tools, and they had a few left over. And this is before I had a snap-on dealer. I called them up and tried to buy one. And they're like, well, we have this special one. We're not sure if you're going to like it. It doesn't have a red handle. And I was like, well, what color is the handle? They said blue. I was like, ship it. Ship it. So anyway, then we've got, you know, you got your little, your terminal tools. I've got a couple of those different style pliers, you know, to push the little tabs in on your electrical connectors. So these I just got not too long ago. I think, yeah, they're branded Mac, but they're the Lyle, you know, rebranded Lyle. And then this is, I got this idea from Mr. Subaru. It's a Kyoto Tool Company made in Japan version where you can actually change, kind of like, you know, the snap ring pliers where you can change the tips. You can change the tips on this thing for removing different electrical terminals. Terminal cleaner kit, some batteries. Oh, that's where they are. I've got the most expensive but lifetime warranted a seam ripper, you know, in case I'm going to turn this into a sweatshop. Probably make more money that way. All right, we got your relay pullers. We've got your back probe kit, tool aid. I don't know if you saw, but Harbor Freight came out with the Maddox version. It's probably the same thing, and it's actually cheaper than the tool aid, which is the OEM. I know a lot of people have been running to Harbor Freight to buy it. Power Probe 3 with some other stuff in there, like an extended, I'm not gonna pull that out, everyone's seen that. This is the Load Pro. It actually works. Like, it's funny because, you know, like if I tell like an old school technician about it, they're like, they just like roll their eyes, but the thing actually works. I don't know why the Load Pro guy gets so much flack. That was branded, I actually got that from Napa because it was like deeply discounted. Okay, so these Mac crimpers, I actually got it. It was a BOGO deal, which made it a great deal. Those are the ones I use the most for crimping. And then here we've got an end stripper branded Snap-on. Now, Harbor Freight just came out with an Icon version of this that's also made in the United States and looks identical. I haven't looked closely, but it's like 20 bucks. So I've heard some people complain about these because, yeah, they don't strip as easily as, say, this. This is my go-to stripper when I can use it, and if not, I usually go to this. But they do work, and sometimes they're the only thing that works. So I think it's still worth having, but now that there's a much cheaper version of this, for what it is, I would go with that version. These have been great. The Blue Point, you know, the Blue Point cutters or wire cutters, those things have been great. They work great. Let's see. And I've got like an old school channel lock. This thing actually, I forget why I keep it. I keep it in here, but there's been times when, like, it's actually worked. It's actually come in handy when nothing else would. I just can't think of one off the top of my head, but I keep it around. It's like the first one that I had. It still works great. Might have some sizes the other ones don't cover. I can't remember why I keep it, but it works. It does the job. But yeah, this would be my go-to for wire stripping. Really, really good tool. You can get, you know, other styles. I don't know if you can read it because of the glare, but the part number looks like it's 1262-180. And then this, you know, and then this styles you can get pretty much anywhere. Like Irwin, you can now get it Quinn at Harbor Freight. Really, really good, really good wire stripper as well. No complaints there. All right, so moving down here, we've got a Craftsman Professional temperature gun. We've got a little spark tester. I've got a Vastar, you know, camera, inspection camera with a little, I forget the technical term for it, but basically it's just your little, you know, you got your little snake camera that you can stick down into like, you know, cylinder bores and whatnot and see what's going on down there. I've got a FLIR thermo imager that actually featured in another video when I got it. These guys are the best at like FLIR is pretty much the top of the line for these. All right, over here I just have a collection of amp clamps, you know, that you can use with your scan tool. So I have a 60 amp, you know, like a low amp clamp, a 600 amp, I guess you'd call a medium amp clamp. And those are the only two I had for a while. These are made by Electronic Specialties. They're made in Taiwan, really well made. I'm pretty sure it's, yeah, Electronic Specialties. You got a little ground outlet tool. I haven't opened this, as you can see. And then I got this, I actually got this used, but it was like, I should say it was pretty much new. But the guy, you know, I got it secondhand, but it was new. And this one goes up to 1500 amps, and it's the Mac version, just really good. I do have a scope on my Snap-on Zeus, which I'll feature in a different video. And, you know, that Mac works great with it.